My name is Dustin Stevens. I chose Scroll Magic as my plugin. Scroll Magic is animation based on scroll positions. It allows you to do a ton of animations and effects all based on the user scroll position. So as someone scrolls down your site, animations occur. They can work backwards, forwards, up, down, sideways. To see what caught my interest, let's have a look at Scroll Magic's homepage. They've got some really good demos here. And the very first of the page is probably the best demo of what it's capable of. And if you'll watch as we scroll down, the wand shows up, does its magic, the hat starts to disappear, and all kinds of animations occur as we tend to go down the page here. Some of them set up to attract you back up the page. If we go to the examples here, we'll see a lot of detailed examples. There's some really unique stuff in the advanced. Several interesting things here. But it caught my interest pretty quick. Let's look at my example. This is using velocity and opacity. If you watch this picture here, we've also implemented the indicators over here on the side for debugging. You can turn those off, of course, when you publish the website. But if you watch as the start passes the trigger, that image of Snowman is going to disappear. And there's a vanishing effect there, and we can change how quickly or slowly it vanishes, and we can also alter the trigger, which we'll get into shortly. We come back, we're going to show you how to load the necessary source files, make a picture vanish and reappear based on scroll position, alter the trigger point for the animation, and as I talked about, we'll be using the indicators over on the side that will give us a visual layout of our trigger and start points so we get a better understanding of how those work. These are your callouts that you'll have to have. There's a callout for jQuery, Modernizer, Scroll Magic, Velocity, Velocity Animation, and the indicators. This is the HTML. It's an example of the necessary HTML that you could implement into your own site. It's really simple. You've got a div with the ID of trigger, a div with an ID of animate. I put an image in there. You could put anything you want, text, whatever. And of course, we're going to close the animate div, and I put a paragraph here, and things outside of the animate div are not going to vanish, but that's still within the trigger div. This is the JavaScript to make it vanish at the default trigger point, and the default trigger point is halfway down the screen, and if you use the indicator, you'll see that your trigger point will start out right here unless you change it. We've made a variable controller for the scroll magic. We've created a scene. And if you did other things, you would create multiple scenes. We set the velocity. You can change that right there to change the speed at which it disappears. And of course, we've set the opacity, which is what it's going to do is go to 0 opacity as that start indicator passes the trigger indicator. And we've got the add indicators put in there and add to it the controller. You can alter the trigger position by calling out the trigger hook and then changing this number here. And 1 will put you at the bottom of the page while 0 puts you at the top. So 0.2 puts us right near the top, which was just convenient for the site I was putting together. This is a combined JavaScript. We just throw our trigger hooks right underneath the rest of it. No problem. And that's it. It's that simple. Hope you enjoyed it.